The Cyelee Wolf 2 is marketed as being a budget red dot that is supposed to be better for astigmatism than other competitor products on the market. But does it actually work? As someone with an astigmatism, I'll give you my honest, unbiased feedback. But I want to hear from you, as answers to this question will vary for everyone's individual eyes, and what works best for you may actually work for someone else. Do you battle with an astigmatism, and what is the best optic that works for your eyes? In full disclosure, Cyelee provided this optic to me for free for this video, but I was not compensated in any way other than the optic being free. Whenever these opportunities come, I always make sure the manufacturer knows that I will not bend my review in any way. Okay, let's start with level setting the astigmatism problem. Those of us who deal with minor astigmatisms often have issues with red dot optics. Typically, you'll either see a starburst effect or a long dash, which is a series of dots. As you stare at the reticle for longer periods of time, the problem can get worse. My eyes always seem to transform the red dot from, say, a 2 MOA dot to maybe a 5 to 10 MOA diagonal line. It's super annoying. I, for one, can testify that the problem varies a great deal from optic to optic. Some are definitely worse than others for my eyes, and it probably has something to do with the curvature of the glass. The problem is less of an issue so long as I target focus and have the brightness settings set appropriately. For pistols, this doesn't really matter much. It's so low of a concern that I don't mention it in most reviews, unless it's a really bad on a particular optic. The distances that you're shooting at are so minimal that the red dot is just a guidepost anyways, since you're for the most part point shooting inside of 15 yards. If you aren't bullseye shooting, acceptable accuracy is usually anything in the A zone, so I don't stress too much about it. A 5 to 10 MOA dot at say 10 yards really only covers around a half inch to an inch of the target, so any deviation from the astigmatism doesn't really affect accuracy. Rifles are another story. With a rifle, you're probably shooting at a longer distance. If your 2 MOA dot becomes a 5 to 10 MOA line like it does for me, that can translate to a miss at over 100 yards. It's for this reason my preference is to run LPVOs on rifles, as the diopter can be adjusted to my eyesight, although friends trying out my rifles often complain of a hazy reticle, so if I end up being a loot drop, at least they'll be annoyed. But hopefully I won't be a loot drop because ideally we'll solve this astigmatism problem. So this is the use case I had in mind when considering this optic. I was looking for something that could fill the role of a backup for my higher magnification Vortex PST 5 to 25 scope on an AR-10. The Cyelee Wolf 2 features two things that are supposed to help with astigmatism: a green emitter as well as a 32 MOA circle with a 3 MOA dot in the middle. The reticle is essentially the same as the one we see on Holosun multi-reticle models, like the 507 series or the EPS, although Holosun typically features a 2 MOA center dot. The Cyelee also comes in at less than one half, and in some cases less than 1/3 of the price of Holosun green emitter multi-reticle models. The Wolf 2 does not have multi-reticle support. You're stuck with a circle center dot, but for my application on a rifle, that doesn't matter, and I actually like the 16 MOA reference point below the circle to estimate my holds. So does this really work? Yes, with some caveats. I still see a little bit of a line when using the optic. The 3 MOA dot extends slightly to maybe 5 MOA, but the problem is not nearly as bad as on other optics I've tried. The outer circle helps constrain the inner circle. It seems like, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to say for my eyes, this does work. But is the Wolf 2 worth it in the ways that we typically measure a micro red dot optic? Let's go over the other pros. Number one is footprint. The Wolf 2 is cut for Trijicon RMR, which has become by far the most popular and common optics cut. Two is price. This model in particular costs $127 on Amazon. With the promo code, that should drop it to about $107. That is really cheap compared to other options on the market, with Holosun costing easily double that for the basic 407 models. RMR cut optics are usually not this affordable. Number three is glass clarity. My goodness, the glass is clear on these. This is on par with my $400 Holosun EPS or my Japanese glass Citron SRS2. Window size. The window is plenty large for a pistol red dot at 24 millimeters. Shake awake. This has become a standard feature on most pistol optics today, but seeing it at this price range is pretty rare. Solid push button controls with adjustable brightness settings. The controls are great quality. The optic has 8 daytime brightness settings, with 2 that Cyelee describes as dim enough for enhanced brightness optics, invisible to the naked eye. I guess that means night vision compatible, but I don't have any way to verify that. It comes with a pick adapter, so that made mounting this up to a rifle super easy for me. Top loading battery compartment, so you don't have to unmount the optic and re-zero every time you remove it. It takes fairly standard CR1632 batteries, which is common for this size optic. However, the optic does have a major con. I'm really not a fan of the turrets. This is a bigger deal when mounting to a rifle. You want each click to correlate to a specific MOA adjustment so that you can easily zero it at longer distances. Alright, so there's a few things I really haven't had enough time to test with to really comment on. So for reliability, for example, I don't have a lot of rounds downrange with this yet. I have this mounted on an AR-10, but shooting the AR-10 is very expensive, so I only have a few magazines worth through it. So far it's holding up to 308 recoil fine, but being mounted on a rifle is actually less intense than being mounted on a reciprocating pistol slide. I've never killed a red dot on a rifle, but I've killed several pistol red dots. I will update if this thing dies on me at any point. The Cyelee rep did tell me that their optics are tested up to 1500 simulated recoils with 1500 Gs of force. But given the price point, I'd say that the jury isn't out yet. I do have a Cyelee Wolf Pro currently mounted on a PSA dagger with a higher round count that we're reviewing next week. Okay, so would I recommend this to you if you have an astigmatism? Yes. Honestly, for that purpose at this price point, it's definitely worth a shot. Could you mount this on a rifle as a backup sight? Also, yes. I think these actually may have the most utility in this context given the price, common footprint, and incredible glass clarity, and the fact that mounting solutions on rifles don't have force from reciprocating components. Would I put these on a carry or duty pistol? At this point, no. I don't think Cyelee as a company has been around long enough or their products proven enough to trust it on a concealed carry pistol unless you really can't afford another option. That doesn't mean it won't in the future when I have more rounds through guns with these optics mounted. In fact, of what I've seen so far, I'm very impressed. However, concealed carry pistols take the most beating because they are low mass, so there's a lot of felt recoil. They aren't just sitting in a safe. And you really should be training with your concealed carry pistol more than any other gun. So for your carry gun, I would go with a more proven brand like Trijicon or one of the higher end Holosun offerings. I'm currently running a Holosun EPS on the Glock 26. But for primarily range guns, absolutely. Cyelee is an incredible value for the money. Again, that glass clarity is a showstopper. You probably can't afford to put a $400 optic on every single pistol in your collection, so Cyelee makes a really competitive product for that context. I hope this video helps you make an informed purchasing decision. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Tune in next week as I'll be reviewing a different Cyelee optic, the Cyelee Wolf Pro mounted on a pistol. You won't want to miss it.